Okay, so maybe we can just go through what's the current tickets in the sprint right now, and then to see any roadblocks. I know that we could update quite a few tickets and waiting for some information from Win to confirm in order to move forward. Thanks for updating those tickets. This is very helpful so that we know the status and also what information you're looking for. I think most of the two of the tickets. About the location, you're waiting for Win to confirm on the API for the provider location. I mean, sorry, again, the provider.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And so I think those are very enough information to move forward. And I also see that you guys able to reduce the error that we encountered in the test server for ticket 261. So you think it might be something about the OMOP, how we upload the OMOP?
Yeah, and actually, it's maybe that something went wrong while uploading that remote file in OpenMRS test environment, I guess. Because what we did followed this step, whatever we have mentioned, and we are able to process the error queue data. Finally, there is no issue with that. So can we do one thing? Can we reinstall both of the module one more time? And
yeah, sure. So with this, is it like with the same OMAP that you guys sent us last time? Just re-upload them one more time, just to test whether the same error is still happening.
So either what we tried to do is, my initial thought was that since we were not seeing this issue on our end, and it was only happening on the test server, that maybe we forgot to, commit some of the code or something got left out, and that's the reason we were seeing the issue. But so what we did to rule out that is, I basically removed my existing OpenMRS, I reinstalled it, I took the code across all the repositories, built everything from scratch, and then I did the whole. I submitted a form with error data in it, and we were able to edit the form, validate it, save it, and reprocess and queue it and save it as an encounter. So even with all of this, we were not able to recreate the issue. And one thing we confirmed, and the second thing is we thought maybe something was wrong with the OMOD that we put into the drive. So we tested with those OMODs that were in the Google Drive, and even with that, we could not recreate it on our local machine. However, we see that the issue is happening on the test server, and we weren't sure like what is causing it. So we were just wondering like if you guys could just remove the existing OMODs and just reinstall and maybe like restart the scheduler. We don't know if it's just an issue of code which is like not in sync or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know how we can have access to debugging on the test server. We can only access our local machine.
Yeah, I think we can give you guys access. Let me ask Wayne. That might be really helpful because it might happen sometimes. So let me just write it down.
Sure.
Okay. I think that would be good. So we'll do it on our end and then give you guys feedback on this ticket. So for 258, do you have enough information to move forward, Ashrita?
I thought I'm not sure. From Friday's call, I thought this was going to be, we're going to take a look at this again and break it down into smaller stories. So, it's about the authentication and the password.
Yeah, this one, it's supposed to break into like 3 smaller story, but then Martin sent the article, the link to the article. What is the best practice for authentication and security thing?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys got the chance to read the article and then whether it changed what we decided on last Friday.
I did go through the article and I don't know. I think from what I saw in the article and what we spoke, I thought it was pretty. For me, I felt like whatever was discussed on Friday was, uh,
Would be the way to go.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
because yeah,
Yeah, I think what we decide is that for those three smaller tasks is for prospectively moving forward, but then we still need this ticket to be done for those data got those users that got stuck because like that feature is not really available right now. Um, so if you guys are okay, I'm going to create three subtasks for this three additional tickets for what we agreed last Friday, and then just move forward with those.
yeah. What I
Yeah.
was hoping to actually see is that we need to create this extra page
Mm-hmm.
where the user doesn't have to be logged in to
Yes.
use that page, and
Mm-hmm.
what is the content of that page and how it's supposed to work, and
Mm-hmm.
what should happen. Because if we outline that clearly, it
Mm-hmm.
really helps us to think about how the workflow should be. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is kind of like a fix for those users who are stuck and who are unable to log in because they forgot their password.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the code will be reused when we eventually get to the part of allowing people to change their passwords from the device.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this ticket is kind of urgent, I think we
Mm-hmm.
should look at it more holistically because we don't want to be rewriting or re-engineering a lot of the code when we eventually get down to making change
Yeah.
password feature of the app
How
itself.
about how about I just draft the workflow for those three scenarios, those three tickets, and then you guys comment on it before we actually even say that, start coding, because a lot of time is maybe I don't think from all directions, so maybe it will be helpful you guys comment on it, and then before we say, hey, those tickets are ready to for development.
Right, like because as we saw on Friday,
Uh-huh.
this is not like
Yes,
I think this is a Jira where just one person decides what has to be done and they just does because everyone raised very valid
mm-hmm.
and questions about what happens in this case, and they were counter arguments and stuff like that. So I don't think it's something which one person could just take and just say this is the way to go and do it. It definitely will be more helpful if the whole team agrees on unanimously on how to go about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just put this one on hold. Um, and then the other one is 61. Separate online authentication and local authentication. It's kind of like aligned with what we talk about. So does it change what we plan to do for this ticket?
Yeah, I think it's very closely related to the one that we were talking about previously, 61, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
This ticket is basically for refactoring the code. Currently, we have only one function which will authenticate the user one first through the online, then device itself. So it's kind of refactoring the code. It's not a bug or anything.
Okay, cool. This one, I think this one already discussed. I think this one already discussed last time, and it was pretty clear for everyone, I think.
yeah, this
Yeah.
was about the wrong API version.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then so let's go through a few tickets from the backlog then. So this one is filed by Win, and so application data is empty before starting wizard. When the user are in the wizard mode to set up mUzima, we need to check to make sure the application data for mUzima is empty.
Ira, why? Oh, I just want to understand why this. I mean, what is the situation which caused this Jira to be filed?
I'm not sure. I think it was filed more than a year, almost like a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking is that so let's say that you that I think the reason Win filed this ticket is that so you already use, let's say that you have an APK using, and then you collect data on your device, and then you download a new APK and you reinstall again. So it want to make sure that you realize that there's no existing data over there. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I think when when we uninstall the mUzima application or reinstall the mUzima,
It empty the data already, right?
yeah, it will delete all the data from device.
No, but are we talking about the situation where the user doesn't explicitly uninstall? He already has an existing APK and then he puts a new one in.
Uh,
Is that the case?
Because I thought that even though like sometimes like we also need to use the updated APK, so I don't think we should empty the data, don't you guys think? Because you have existing data in your device.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So if the user has an APK
Mm-hmm.
and then you send them an updated APK, does
Mm-hmm.
it actually try to run the wizard again? I don't think so.
Sorry. Rita, what was the question?
If you already have an APK, the mUzima APK on your device, and then someone sends you an updated APK, does it? I don't think the wizard runs again at that point, does it? It should not.
It's not supposed to run again.
No, it's not supposed to.
Sure.
Yeah.
And for the case, what has been happening is that it has not been running again.
Yeah.
And mostly what happened is maybe the APK is not, what I've been using or trying is that maybe the APK has not been updated. What happens is maybe when I want to replace, yeah, it does not download again.
So I think how it should work is if you've updated the APK and then you install the newer version, the app will just retain its data and whatever the updates that you have will be there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's not going to delete the data and it's not going to until you manually go and uninstall the app, at which point all the data gets wiped out and then you install the updated version, then the whole wizard flow will happen. If you already have existing data and you update to a newer version of the app,
yeah,
it should not wipe out the data. So the wizard will not run again.
sure.
So that's why I'm wondering why this ticket was open. Maybe I did. Like you said, Ada, I'm not really sure at this point. Maybe if we have more clarification, we can understand what was the reason behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably because like in the past when he filed this ticket, when you reinstall the APK, it did not like say that clear all the data or something like that. I think that's probably one of the reasons, but then probably we updated and this ticket no longer really valid. That's my guessing because it's been a year.
Yeah, maybe we should just check whether this ticket still makes sense.
Yeah, that's my guessing. Um, and then another one is 54, improve with the Dano process. the current approach to download the REST in the wizard, download each page of the REST resource, convert resource to the correct objects, check if there's next resource page to download, repeat the above steps, and return collection of the objects. Win proposed like a new, a better approach. Download each page of the REST resource and save them locally. Check if there's next resource page to download, repeat the above steps, convert resources to correct objects, return collection of objects. He thinks that this approach would potentially save us time if the download process is stopped before it's done. I don't know if the approach for download REST in the wizard has been updated or not. Do you guys know?
No, it is the way the current approach, the way the current approach is highlighted here. It's the same.
Okay, cool. So let's do the points then. If it's clear, this one. Do you guys want to do the point?
Sure.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, this one is good.
Well,
Thank you, guys. And so let's look at the next one, 219. This one is link stack trace message from ACRA with corresponding GR ticket. So the dashboard has been set up. It'll be helpful to have the stack trace link message with corresponding GR ticket number. I think it does have like a direct link. Because when I tried, last week when I tried to send some crash reports, so it did ask me for some additional information. It's not related to that event. But when I type my comment, it's not really showing on the dashboard for some reason. So I have to manually to add it.
Sorry, the connection is not very clear. Can you please repeat that? Hello?
Yeah, what did you say, Smita?
Sorry, the connection seems to be bad. I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. I was just saying that, does this ticket make sense first?
Yeah, it does. But I thought you spoke about this, that see, every crash report that we receive on ACTA, okay, how do you as a user, how do you think this should work? Like, what is the best way that you think that this should work? Like, do you want to be logging into ACTA and then see crash, and then you know that there is a ticket already for this crash, so you need to link the stack trace message with. Okay, do you want a link in the Jira to the ACTA crash report?
Hey, Smita, I cannot hear you clearly. I'm not sure if other people can hear.
Okay, I'm just going to mute. Okay, I think can everyone go? Yeah. Okay, can you just repeat your how you want this to work?
Yeah, so I wonder if we can, so like after it's set up, let's say that we file a ticket, either like file ticket. So I want like after like a stack trace, it would file a ticket to the Jira, so that I can have a link to correspond with the Jira ticket in the ACRC dashboard? And is there a place, like a slot, I can put the Jira ticket number there? Maybe I type on the chat. I'm not sure if you can hear me. The connection is not really good.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ada.
Okay.
I'm just.
Oh,
Okay.
now it's much better.
Yeah. So the only thing I was thinking is we get lots of crash reports on ACRA, and not all of them have a ticket open for it. So this is actually like we can either update the Jira with a link to the ACRA report. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you said go to the ACRA thing and have a ticket, but I don't think that makes sense because every crash report that comes in sometimes is just a user's thing. Sometimes maybe internet connectivity is not there. Sometimes it's a known issue, or sometimes it's an issue that's been fixed and it's not. I mean, it's not in the build or what for whatever reason. So I don't think it for me it makes sense to add the ticket into the ACRA report because not a lot of people actually go and use ACRA that much. So I would think more from having a link in the Jira to the ACRA report, and that can only be done manually at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
so like let's say that there's like multiple crash reports with the same error in the ACRA, and how can we make sure like which one got linked back to the Jira? I think that's really one of my questions. Especially some of them might have additional comments, a little bit more helpful for the developers when they troubleshoot.
Yeah, I mean the only way I can think about it is probably we have to be more proactive about checking ACRA logs every day and seeing if there's a pattern. Because I think right now, I don't think we are actively looking at crash reports every day and saying, oh, this is a new issue. So maybe I should spend some time to figure out what the issue is. And then if it really is an issue, then I open a new ticket for it. I don't think that part is happening yet.
So there's another. So when I was testing the last week, I'm not sure that you heard me earlier because the connection was poor. So when I encountered a crash, it did ask me for additional information for the crash report. So I typed the additional information. However, when I go back to the dashboard to check the message, did not really capture my additional information that I just typed and submit. So I end up like going back to the dashboard manually to put those information there. So it used to work in the past. I'm not sure what happened now. Yeah, it worked at one point that it captured.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure either. If it happens again, maybe we should take a look at it then.
Yeah. So because like I can so next time when it happened again, I can file a ticket, but I just don't know if it's a one-time thing or it just it's an issue. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So this one, I think maybe you're right. We should just put the link of the the link from the equalizers and then put on the Jira ticket.
Yeah. So is there any way that whenever I don't know how I'm not really very familiar with Jira and their apart from how I've been using it with you guys, but is there a way that we can customize what information we want to capture on each Jira for AMPAC? Like I'm sure Jira has been used across companies, so maybe a particular company is more interested in finding out apart from the regular like things like what we see on a whenever we open a Jira to view, we see things like the reporter, the assignee, and comments. And is there a way that we can add a field to that page which says something like ACRA link or something?
Yeah, we can do that. Actually, it's pretty easy to customize and add a field in Jira.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe just maybe another tab or something like that, which while the user is filing the Jira for the very first time, or we prompt them, is there an ACRA link or is there a crash report that already has some information which will help the developer to get started? So then we add. Yeah, I think this is the simplest way to do it without actually actually changing the APK and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is much simpler. Yeah, maybe we can just do that one. Yes, so that we don't have to copy and paste all those set trays and all those.
Yeah. So this way the person is also forced to kind of, it's like a reminder that, oh, you forgot to put in the ACRA link, because no matter how many times we tell people, it sometimes slips through their mind. So while they're filing it, if you just remind them, like, hey, put in a link for the ACRA, then if there is one, they can.
Yeah, I agree. So this is pretty simple fix then for this one. Because just add a field in Jira.
Right.
And actually, I can do this one. So I won't even put it in the sprint for this one because this is pretty easy. So let's look at the next one. 174 form module doesn't accept special character. We currently, when uploading a new form template to the server, user is only allowed to use name without special characters. In real case scenario, the form should be allowed to enter special character as part of the name. Does anyone have question on this one?
So Ida, I think this is more like the blacklist and whitelist thing, which I think every company has a different set of rules as what special character is allowed and considered safe and what is not. I think it's mainly done to prevent people from possibly entering like SQL injection or some kind of things that could corrupt the database or give the user more information that he's not authorized to see. So instead of just saying dot and hyphen and etc., I think we should say that I want these specific characters to be allowed, and these. I mean, it's difficult to say what is not allowed. Maybe we just decide which are the ones that are really needed as part of the name field and only allow those.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Actually, I don't think this one even needed anymore, don't you think, Esrita? Because you got already pulled the name and this description from the core form table.
I don't know it. I'll just have to take a look into it because it's been some time since I worked on it, so I really can't remember what was the final thing. Let me just spend some time on it and get back to you on whether this is done or it still needs. Oh, but it says resolved, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think this one was on hold because there was other tickets that because of the 185, you put the definition from OpenMRS core form definitions, so it make these tickets become no longer needed, I think. But you can take a look and then maybe just close it if it's needed.
Yeah, I'll update the Jira with whatever I found.
Cool, thanks. So this ticket, we can work on it earlier. Its existing app should remove timeout counter. I think it was on hold because of 117. Since it's been a while, maybe Vikas also need to look at this ticket to see whether he has enough information to move forward for this one and up down the ticket. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I need some time to review this, and I'll update you on this.
Okay, cool. I'll mute again. So for the huge payload, will potentially crash the app. Number 77. Vike has also worked on this one before, and I think somehow it got dropped because I think Vikas was helping us with the biometric thing. So maybe you also need to look at this one to see whether you have enough information to move forward, and then just put on the ticket, and then on Friday we can go through the points thing again.
Yeah, sure. I think it's done. I need to make a pull request for this, so I'll do that.
Okay, cool. We're going through a lot of old tickets. I'm not sure if you guys remember as well. Shrita, for you remember this one?
Yeah.
So maybe I think maybe you guys can help us to kind of like look through all these old tickets and then update on status. And then whether it needs further work. If it's further work on Friday, we can assign points. If not, we can just close them, or if they work already, or pull request.
I think for this one, there wasn't any development work left for it. So I think, yeah, under review, and maybe once Win takes a look at the changes and you guys test it out, I think it can be closed. I don't think it has any pending work.
Oh, so this one is more like, is it Win's review or what kind of review?
Win's review.
Okay, let me just
Can we just scroll down, Ada? I can't see what was the last comment on this. Can we please scroll down to the comment section?
I think it's like through the Scrum chat. Okay.
I think this is done, Ada, but because I seem to have moved it to under review, but I'll take a look again to confirm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So now I think like for so I want to distinguish like under review and like co-review right now. So maybe under review, can we just like get a consensus, like under review maybe, what's the difference between under review and code review? I just want, because I want to use the code review for when actually looking at the pull request, and then he can review and put comments and whether it should go ahead for commit or not. And because a lot of time when we use in the past we only have like under review. Probably that's why the confusion. We're not sure like who's supposed to take the next step. If you guys can think of like how we can distinguish those under review and under code review, and then we can decide on Friday how we can use them differently. That'll be helpful.
Sure. So are you saying under okay, code review is pretty obvious to me. When do we use under review?
Yeah, so I think in the past it's only like we only use under review, and then later on we add a field called a status called like testing needed. So I think it was like part of, we just use under review at the beginning for both code review and testing needed, or someone look at it, make sure like my assumptions or like the workflow are correct or something like that, or like ask for clarifications and need someone's information. I think we from now on we need to distinguish the status. Maybe we can write up some example how we use different status for what. I think that would be really helpful when for us to triage the tickets and also for the sprint, because it's kind of like mixing with those old tickets. When we have those old tickets, we only have like a very few sets of status. As things evolve and we add more like specific status, so whether maybe we need to remove some of the old status, just avoid confusion.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think as a developer, the only probable questions I'll have is I need more information and I'm blocked on this. Once I've actually committed the code, and then I say, hey, you know what? I'm ready for you to review the code. And then I send a code review thing. I don't think I can actually ask for testing needed, because usually, okay, I'm imagining that once I'm done with my code changes, I request Win to do a code review, and Win does a code review. If he has some comments, we make the changes, and then there's someone else who tests it and closes it, right?
Yes.
So I think testing needed. I'm not sure if those people are also watching the Jira and actually acting on the status changes.
Yeah, maybe I send out an email for all those current status options, and then you guys can comment, what you understand for each one and which one we should keep, and then we can make some example and put on the wiki. I think it's just helpful for everyone, especially new members, to join later on.
Sure.
So the next one, 114. Unable to process queue data due to no preferred identifier. So Vikas, maybe you can also help us just to see what you have done, or whether you need information for this ticket, because it's been a while. I don't think you remember this one, do you?
Yeah. I will have a look on this one.
Okay. So I think that's enough for today to do the backlog, and most of them, like as you can tell, like some work has been done, and it's just kind of like a cleanup, because some of the tickets I think we just did not really like look at it when something was done or like need information. So this is more like a cleanup backlog.
Result, because I used to have an error doing processing, and right now I could see we can have patient registrations without having the issue of no preferred identifier. So I believe this one was resolved, but maybe we should have to check it again.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some old data that they don't have. I think it's more like for the old data.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
Maybe this one was it a registration, patient registration? If it was, I think maybe it was due to the XML registration. But right now we are using HTML registration, which we have tested, and we have not seen this kind of issue.
Yeah, so let's just test out with both the registration form and also the regular encounter form. And then when we test the regular encounter form, we can use some existing data that some of the records don't have the preferred identifier set up. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. So I think that is it for today. Most of them are cleanup tickets. So any other topic you guys want to discuss before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think because most of them are just cleanup tickets, and since I don't know if this is what everyone feels, but is there any other ticket that that we can pick up on? Because I think some of the tickets are on hold because we're waiting for information. And oh, should I just pick up from, what do I do if I find that I have time and I can pick up the next? Do I pick from the open ticket column?
Yes, so you can go to the backlog issues and they're in order. So so you can start from the backlog like in order and pick up new tickets. If, for example, if you have time to pick up more tickets.
Sure, because of the time difference, sometimes if we find that we are waiting for information or I cannot make progress, I can always go to the backlog and pick up, right?
Yes,
And
that's good. Yeah. So the backlog are pretty much in order of the priority. So it keeps changing based on different needs. So that would be my job to rearrange the backlog order.
Right. Okay.
So for the backlog, because even myself, I need to pick on a new ticket. So far, I can see there's only one open ticket. But I don't know. I don't know how you are able to access that list of backlog tickets. Maybe will you provide us?
Yeah, I can send you guys a link later on, like through the list. Yeah.
Hi, Eda.
Derek has a question. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, I think I've posted something there, and it says when I submit a form on mUzima test server, the form ends up on QData. Yeah, and I felt like maybe there's an issue with the processor there, or yeah.
No, it's more like the data issues because you're using the different sets of definitions. That's why it go there. Like for example, in the test server, it doesn't have encounter ID 100, encounter location ID 100, but you're using the definition of like encounter location ID 100. So this is like a simple example one.
Okay. Oh, I hear you now. I think we'll take it up with the Savai. I'll visit Savai to see how we can sort that out.
Yeah, this is something that Simon has. It's helping us of like loading code into the test server, and then there's some tweaking on mask some of those identification information like the provider names and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Derek, you can. I think we can meet after this. But
sure.
I don't know whether you are clear. I have a feeling that what you are referring to is that you are sending data that stays on the error queue and it's not being submitted, which I think is something Sweet and Vikas are looking at. I don't know. Is it also the same thing?
That is it exactly. Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is exactly what Savai has said. When I submit the data ends up on the and on the queue rather than it being processed and thrown to the error data. I think something like this one.
Oh yeah. So it's something that is being looked into. I think it's related to the processor not being able to process data on the error queue. So it's something that has been testing, I think, on her local machine, which works, and now we need to look at the current version of the form, the data process. So we can Derek, did you hear me?
Yeah, you are not clear. I could only catch up a word.
Okay. What I'm saying, Derek,
Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Now it's clear.
It's clear. So what I was telling Derek is that I think that issue that you saw is related to the current processor OMOD that is on the test server, and it's something that I think Switha has been looking into, because the changes they made to the OMOD, they have when they test on their local machines, it works well, but on the test server it doesn't. So it's something that I think we need to look. We said we should look at the processor OMOD to make sure that we have the right version.
Okay, I hear you well. Yeah.
So maybe Switha, yeah. So
Simon, in case you're speaking, I cannot hear you.
okay, Derek. So can you pick it up after the call, Derek? Looks like my network is very low.
Okay. So Derek's going to meet with Simon just to see how things go. Sorry that earlier, Derek, I misunderstood your question. I thought that you were having problem in submitting, synchronize your form, mUzima form to the server, and then it end up to the error queue. I thought that's what you meant. Actually, you refer to the UI error resolution. When you correct the messages, it go to the form queue. Is that correct?
Not really, because not really. What is happening is that when I submit the data, before even the data gets to error queue.
So are you talking about submitting from your device to the server?
Device to the server.
Okay. Yeah, so that's so I actually understood your question correctly then. So for that reason, you need to look at you should go to the UI resolution, the new UI error resolution UI, to look at it, what type of error that it caused. Sometimes it might say that, oh, there's no such provider is found, no such user is found, and things like that.
Okay, we'll check it out.
Okay, cool. If there's no more other topic, we can wrap this up. Going once, going twice. Thank you, guys. We'll chat with you through Scrum tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.